When I see your face, I feel the sun inside me. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, no matter where you are in the world. Welcome to this webinar that we are broadcasting live right now. The mindset of a successful entrepreneur. My name is Marc Jospitre. I'm so happy that you are taking time with me today, that you want to know what is making the mindset of a successful entrepreneur. And you're probably asking yourself, well, what is putting you into this position that you can talk about this? It's because I live both. I had a job. Might be some of you are having a job right now and you want to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you were an entrepreneur and you are an entrepreneur and it hasn't been really successful. And I've done that many times. I started a lot of businesses, and what really I will share with you is what made me becoming successful is that I started changing the mindset. Most of us are thinking that, okay, if I have a good strategy, if I have a good idea, everything's going to change. But that is not necessarily true. And what you're going to realize is there's a lot to do with your mindset. And this is what I want to share with you. I want to share what have worked for me and what I've worked with a lot of my clients, which have been experiencing the very same thing. Is they try many different strategies. They try different things. It didn't work the way they were anticipating to work, but when they changed their mindset, everything for them changed. So that is what I'm going to share with you. I'm so happy that you are connecting with me. Maybe you can send me a little emoji. You can do in the chat that you're listening to me properly. And I want you to participate into this. I don't want you to just sit down and sit back and just listen. I want you to participate. I want you to ask questions. I want you to get involved into this, because the more you're getting involved, the more you're going to be able to help other people, and the more you're going to be able to help yourself. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. I'm so pumped. Like, can you hear me properly? Can you send me a little emoji in the chat? Yes, I see. Perfect. Yes, you hear me right. Excellent. Everything is in order. Wonderful. Good to have you here. Welcome. I see multiple people here which are connecting. I see, hey, hi from Mexico. Good to have you here. I see some people in the United States. Amsterdam we have here as well. This is so cool. Good to have you here. Keep check. There's more people which are connecting right now, so it is absolutely wonderful. So let me share a little bit about myself, where I'm coming from. My name is Marc Jospitre. As I said, I'm born in the poorest country in the world, Haiti, Haiti in the Caribbean. And I was extremely fortunate that my father decided that he's gonna go somewhere where that I will have a better opportunity. And he did that through study. So he was studying engineering, he was studying architecture, he went to different countries, and it allowed me to grow up in Quebec, Canada. At the time, I was speaking only French. And then I had an opportunity to come to Mexico. So I went to Mexico, and like my life transformed drastically. First of all, I learned two languages. So English, which I started learning English when I was 27. So it's really funny when I hear people saying like, oh no, I'm too old to learn a language. Who feels that way? Who feels that you're too old to learn another language? I'm here to tell you that this is not true. You can learn any language at any age. And what is happening is the more you are learning something different, the more everything's going to change in your mind. So, and that one of the fundamental truths that you have to understand is what brought you right here, right now, will not bring you to where you want to go. That part is so essential that you understand this and you accept this idea. Because if I take myself, if I would have stayed with the beliefs that with only one language, speaking French in Canada, I could have done what I'm doing right now in my business, traveling around the world, being able to do conferences in different countries, working different markets, penetrating different markets. If I would have stayed with what I had and what brought me to where I was, well, that's not possible. So what you need to do, and what you need to understand is you need to add new tools in your toolbox. You need to change the way you're thinking, because what brought you to where you're currently are, and you might be very, very successful. But if you want to move to a different level, you're going to have to start doing something different to get different results. I love what Einstein is saying. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. That is exactly what is the problem with people which are doing the same thing and then expecting different results in their life. So that is what you have to understand as well. Now, I remember that when I started working with this type of material, I was extremely analytical as a person. I needed to understand really mentally and with my logic mind how things are done. And there's only two sources of references that you can go to gather information. One is science and the other one is theology. So I was a very scientific type of mind, and I needed to understand scientifically how things work. And what you will understand through what I will share with you today is that we have been creating and we are working, like the mindset of a successful entrepreneur is working, whether consciously with what I'm going to share with you here, or they're working with it unconsciously. And what is happening is when you are working on the scientific part, the scientists, they will say that everything goes down to one thing, that everything is energy, right? So energy is, we cannot create it, energy, we cannot destroy it. It's all powerful, it's all present. If I take, for example, my phone, and I would like to call you, well, there's energy that's gonna go, which it's go through a frequency, right? Through the wireless. I mean, like we cannot touch that, but the phone, there's no cable attached to it. I don't know if you're old enough to see that when I was young, that was a cable attached to the phone, and it was attached to something which that was a cable attached to the wall. So you could not walk around and do everything that you're doing right now. Now the phones are absolutely wireless. So how is this connected? It's connected to energy. It's connected to a frequency. I mean, we receive internet, we're receiving data continuously on it. Now, I can send you a text right now, and almost instantly you will receive the text, even though that you are totally on the other side of the world. Right now, I'm talking to this device, and I saw some people in the United States, in Mexico, in Spain here, in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and you are receiving that information instantly. I'm speaking live right now. You're on the other side of the world. My laptop right now it's not connected. There's no cable attached to it. Well, how is this all possible? It's through energy. right? And this is all scientific. We understand it, or we have an understanding of it. Maybe we don't fully understand it, how it works, but we know that this is all scientific, right? And it's a very powerful energy that allows us to be connected no matter where we are in the world. Now, the other source of reference that we are going to is theology. Now, I'm not talking about a priest with like a collar in the neck. I'm talking about a scholar which have studied religion and the way that basically their belief is everything is through spirit or God base, right? That powerful energy that we're talking about through science, through theology, it says, well, there's this power source which we call either spirit or God, right? And if we ask them what is God, what is spirit, they will say it is. No, it cannot be created or destroyed. It's all powerful. It's present everywhere at the same place. Now, what is happening is this: is there's you, which is there. And truly what we want to understand is what is our relation as you to what is, either energetically speaking or with the spirit and God. And when we start understanding us with this energy, with what is, you have to understand that we live in a very orderly world. There's order in this world. And it's the relation that you have with that order that is creating results. It's creating what, if you're going to be successful and if you're not going to be successful. And again, it doesn't matter if you're conscious about this or unconscious about it. It just is, right? The energy is, and the energy operates in a very orderly manner. Okay? So if you are more on the spiritual aspect, if you are more on the theology, then you would say, well, God is, and God operates in a very orderly way. And understanding how that order operates, it operates through laws. So there's order, there's laws that operates into the world that we live in. And those laws are affecting us every single day. The question is, are you utilizing those laws in your advantage, or you are a victim of those laws? In other words, basically the laws are put upon us. Well, the laws are, it just is. It's like the law of gravity. Everybody understands gravity because you fell, right? Did you ever like ran and just trip and then fell and then hit yourself? Well, that was gravity at work, right? It just pull you down. If we are, I don't know, going on the roof of your house right now, you wouldn't say, oh, you know what, gravity, I'm not sure it's going to work today, so I'm just going to jump. I know that I can start flying. You know you're going to hit the ground and probably you're going to hurt yourself. We know that. Now, if you ask anybody to describe how gravity works, most of the people cannot explain it. Even the most erudite scientists cannot explain like the profoundness of what gravity is. But we just know it is, right? Well, that's the same thing with those laws. There's 7 main laws that are there, right? And those laws operate in a very orderly way. The idea here, and to create that mindset of a successful person, is to create order through those laws. And the more order you create, the more you're going to be able to start utilizing those laws in your advantage. And that's exactly what the mindset of a successful person is all about. And this is what we're going to treat. This is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to talk about as well of what is holding you back, what is creating you not getting the results that you want, every single time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay? Now, if you have some questions, I want you to pop those questions into the chat box. I want you to participate in this. Maybe it goes a little too fast for you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just take some notes, and then later on you can ask your question, or you can ask your question right away. Now, how do I know that this is working? This is because I've utilized it myself. This is when I started my business. Now you can see, like, you know, I'm well dressed. This is the first picture of my first website. And I really love looking at this, because what you will realize is when you start utilizing those laws in your advantage, everything is changing. Your entire being is changing, your entire mind, your mindset is changing. But not only that, physically, you're going to change. This is how powerful those laws are. This is why you need to have the proper mindset if you want to have the success. And this is a picture that I just took last week or a couple of weeks ago. Look at the difference. Look, and I'm not showing this to impress you. I want to impress upon you that if I've done that, if I did that drastic change in my life, you can too. And that is what this mindset will do for you. So you can start having a successful business. You can start being a successful entrepreneur. And this is possible for every single person. Now, remember, I start multiple businesses. I tried multiple times. I had great results, and then I failed. But only when I created the proper mindset, the proper way of thinking, that I was able to have a sustainable and profitable and successful business. Okay? Now, there's two things that you need to know in order to become a successful entrepreneur: where you are and where you're going. Now, this is so simple that it's almost ridiculous that we're talking about that, right? So obvious. But then why is so many people stuck? Now, I remember when I was stuck. I remember when I was working into like a large corporation as a salesperson, and I was doing everything that my boss was requiring me to do. I was doing my goal sheet. I was feeling my goal, because they told me, like, you need to have a goal. You need to know where you're going. So I was doing my goals every single time. And yet, you know, I was getting about the same results every single month. And I did not understand, why is this happening to me all the time? Why am I having always the same results again and again and again? But it's only when I understood that the problem is what it was where I was. And that problem is called a paradigm. Now, a lot of people are talking about paradigm in this day and age. A lot of people are, you know, specialists or specialize in coaching and talk about paradigms. But what really is a paradigm? A paradigm is a mental program that has exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. Now, think about this. Let's say that you have your phone, right? I wanted to say your computer. Oh, this is just like a computer, right? So you have your phone, and you are adding a new app into your phone. But the new app that you're adding is operating with the brand new operating system, the new update of the operating system, and you haven't done this update yet. What will happen with this app is this app will be working on your phone. And most of you know the answer to this. It's like, no, the app is kind of, it doesn't load properly. It's like, it's always crashing, or it doesn't finally upload properly until and unless you're upgrading your operating system. You're doing an update to your operating system. So now there's a match between the app and the operating system. Well, your paradigm worked the very same way. So you have an operating system in your mind which work in a certain way. And all this are controlled by the habits that you're having. And your imagination, everything that you're thinking as well comes from your habit, the way you're thinking. So if you're not changing, if you're not understanding that the paradigm control everything, if you're not understanding that you are kind of working as a robot through those habits and you do things in a certain way every single day without thinking, how are you going to change those results? How are you going to be successful? Which that operating system comes from Windows 97. Now, when I say this, if you are old enough to understand this, you understand Windows 97 was a great program. Yet, if you would use Windows 97 with all the apps and the technology we have now, that would be no match. It would just do this, and all the apps won't be able to operate into this. Most of you understand how it works, right? When we're talking about technology. But when it comes to your mind, we are just like, no, I don't want to change. I don't want to change my habits. I don't want to change that. And yet you're wondering why you're not successful. Does that make sense? Now, this is what's happening with your paradigm. Paradigm controls pretty much everything that you're doing. It has enormous influence over your perception. Your perception is how you see the world. How do you see the world? Do you believe that it's difficult to run a business? Do you believe that to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to work hard? Do you believe, and that is all this is your point of view, is your perception. Your perception, you've been told when you were a little kid that if you want to be successful, you need to be working hard. You need to work 80 hours a week. Who have heard that? I've heard that. Yes, yeah, I see. A lot of people have heard that when they were young. Absolutely, because that was a perception from someone, and you never questioned that perception. You took it and you accepted it without even questioning if this is true or not. Your paradigm has an enormous influence in your use of time. I was just talking with a client of mine just before to enter into this. And what we realized is that we were not utilizing the time the right way, right? The use of time was not adequate. And there was a lot of things which was pushed away, which if we would address those, and when we're done with this, well, we just realizing that we have a lot of time. Now, what makes the difference between you and the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, which I can promise you, they have way more things to do in their agenda that you have? Do you believe they have more time that you have? Do you believe that someone which has many companies, let's use someone like Richard Branson, right? The owner of Virgin, which there's so many different branches in Virgin. Do you believe he has more time in a day that you have? No, we all have 24 hours. So how are you utilizing that 24 hours is coming from your paradigm, right? So how are you utilizing your time it's essential for you to have success, to be a successful entrepreneur. Your paradigm control and has enormous influence over your creativity. Now, the funny part about creativity, a lot of us are believing that creativity is only for artists. Like a painter is creative, someone which is working with into you know, that creative department is creative. Everybody's creative. No, creativity is part of who we are as a being. But your paradigm is controlling that creativity. So if you believe that you're not creative, well, you're right, because that is part of those habits that you have. So what would happen if you would change the way that you're utilizing that creativity? How much success can you gain as an entrepreneur? Your paradigm has an enormous influence in your effectiveness, which your effectiveness has an enormous influence in your productivity. So how are you utilizing your time will affect your effectiveness and your productivity. And all this, it's coming from your paradigm or comes from your habits. So do you want to continue to let your habits control all of those aspects of your life? I don't think so. Your paradigm has enormous influence over your logic. Well, Mark, it's illogic to earn 6 figures a month. Is it? Do you know people that earn that? Yeah, but it's in a different industry. Okay. Do you know people from different industries that are earning that? Yeah, but it's not the same. Well, every time that you are saying, oh, it's not the same, or this is not possible, this is your logic. This is your current state of affair that is making you say that. And that is part of your paradigms. That's part of your current habits. So what you're doing on a daily basis, you know, when you get out of bed in the morning, you're probably doing the same sequence every single day without even thinking that that's what you're doing. You know, you're getting out of bed, you're going to the bathroom, you take a glass of water, you're brushing your teeth, you're looking at your phone, looking at your Facebook, and you're doing the same thing every single day. And if you're going out of that, which by the way, this is part of your logic, oh my God, today is going to be a bad day. How many times did that happen to you? No? And it's always based on our programming. It's based on our operating system. Your paradigm has enormous influence on your ability to earn money. Now, this one is huge because for you to be a successful entrepreneur, maybe you want to earn $10,000 a month. Maybe you want to earn $100,000 a month. Maybe you want to earn $1 million a month. Well, that ability to earn money is directly linked to your paradigm. And every time you try to change something, there's a box that comes and just lock everything in. You try to get out and then you just hit yourself on that box. And it seems that, no, it cannot change. Now, remember, only through proper training that this box will disappear. Only through proper training. Understanding what is that paradigm, understanding what is those habits, and understanding that if you're not changing that, you will stay in that box and everything's going to stay the same. Now you're going to remember again what we said in the beginning, right? What Einstein is saying. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So through proper training, that box disappears. Does it mean that everything's going to change at once? No. But if we start working, for example, on having a better use of our time, instantly your ability to earn money will increase. Or maybe you want to work on perception, right? You just start changing the way you are seeing things, changing the way that you're perceiving certain aspect of your life, seeing the other side of the way you're thinking right now. Instantly, your ability to earn money will change. Now imagine if you would change all of those. If you would work on every single aspect of your life, what will be your ability to earn money? Would you become a successful entrepreneur? I can guarantee that it will. And the change are huge and the change are permanent. And this is what excites me about this. This is what makes me so excited about this particular way of working, because when you're working with the laws, you're changing your life permanently. As I just showed you in the picture of before and after, before and now. This is what happened to me. And those changes are permanent. This is how I was able to cross the ocean, go and live in Spain into my dream destination, which was at the time. And now we're having like bigger and greater goals because we change permanently. And I know because I've done it once, I can do it again. Does that make sense? And I can build as well different and new companies. So I absolutely adore what I'm doing here, but I want to provide more service to my clients. I want to provide more service to the people that want to have access to this information. But you will be able to do this only if you understand your mind. Like when I say the mindset of a successful entrepreneur, I am not kidding. The mind is the greatest power of all of creation, right? So let's look at how the mind works and the paradigm, because the paradigm is at the center of everything you're doing. So we need to understand how it works. And what happened is, and I remember the very first time that I saw that in 1934, there's a doctor called Termit Fleet that was involved with the healing art. Like healing art at the time, it was, if you were not, because he was working with truly the healing art. It was working at the spiritual level, at the mental level, and at the physical level, which was, it's called holistic art, right? It's totally, and when we hear holistic art, normally people are just, this is hocus pocus type of stuff. Well, what you realize is when we have a problem at the physical level, this is a problem that exists already through spirit. It's coming from something way behind. It's coming from the mind, maybe months, maybe years earlier. And he said, when we're trying to fix the problem at the physical level, we are just looking at the effect. We're just looking at the secondary cause of the problem. And until we go to the primary cause, we will never have permanent health. But we have a basic problem. Is no one has ever seen the mind. And I love the way that Bob, my mentor, is talking about this. And he says that, you know, think about your refrigerator, right? Probably most of you, when you're thinking about your refrigerator, it's like, what is the mind that my fridge has to do with each other? Like, just stay with me. Think about your fridge. Like, what color is it? Okay, yeah, okay, that's the color. It's gray. How many doors there's? Oh, there's 2 doors. Are they top, bottom, or their side? Their side. Which side is the freezer? Then probably most of you need to go to your fridge, need to go to your kitchen and open the fridge to say, oh, no, it's on the left. If I ask you, what color is your car? If you have a car. Once I was saying this into a seminar live, and I said, what color is the car? I don't have a car. Okay, that's a problem, right? It's not gonna work. But if you do have a car, what color of car do you have? Well, my car is black. Okay, how many doors? 2. What color is the interior? Most of you probably as well is gonna have to go to your car to see what color is the interior. What is the brand of your car? And if you're mentioning the brand, most of people will instantly have a picture that comes and flash in the screen of your mind. Why? Because we're thinking in pictures. And what Dr. Termit Fleet said is like the problem with the mind is no one has ever seen the mind. If I ask you to think about your mind, most of you will have a picture of the brain, but the brain is not the mind. Mind is movement. Mind is energy. So if I'm thinking about the brain, No, but if I think about the mind is as much in your brain that it is in your fingernail, that it is in your elbow or in your knee. Mind is movement. So what Dr. Thurman Fleet did in 1934 is he created a picture of the mind, and he created this diagram, which, by the way, this might seem ridiculous, but it is so powerful. There's so much strength and power into that diagram. And that diagram is separated into like 3 parts, right? We have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the body. And I remember the first time that I've seen this, I was thinking like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, I'm spending that money for this. But this is by far the most powerful tool that you will come across. I'm utilizing this every single day of my life because it helped me to create a picture of my mind, and it helped me to create as well a movement of how I'm utilizing the energy, how I'm utilizing the thoughts that are coming to and through me. And this is where I want to go with this, right? And I will explain how that the thoughts are operating into your mind. Now, you see those little antennas that you have on top of that conscious mind of yours? Those are your sensory factors. Those are connecting you to the outside world. You can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. We've been conditioned to live through those sensory factors. They can be a blessing. They can also be a curse, depending on how you're utilizing those. Through your educated mind, through the way that you've been conditioned, you have the ability to accept or reject whatever idea through your perception. Okay, so again, your paradigm is controlling your perception, right? Consciously, you have the ability to accept or reject whatever is happening on your outside world. You have the ability to choose through your educated mind, and you have the ability to originate ideas. So this is where that you're utilizing your imagination, your creativity. All this is happening at the conscious level. You choose through your educated mind to create the world that you want. Now, at the emotional level, at the subconscious level, you do not have the ability to choose. It must accept, it cannot reject any idea that is impressed upon your subconscious mind, upon your emotional mind. And it cannot differentiate if you see something which is real and if you see something which is not real. Now, this is very important to understand that, because when you are and through your subconscious mind, this is where you see most of the world. This is how that you've been conditioned. There's only 5% of what's happening into your conscious mind that control your life. 95% of your life is controlled through your emotional mind. So it goes to and through the body, and you're moving into action based on what is happening into your emotional mind. So understanding this makes you think, wow, so where is all that knowledge I have then? This is where it becomes extremely important to understand like what have happened in your life and what have school did to you. School have given us great knowledge, amazing knowledge. But school never taught us how to change our paradigm and how the paradigm operates, right? So a lot of us are frequently know a lot of different things. We have a lot of knowledge, but we're not applying what we knew. We're not doing what we know we should do. We're not doing and creating the results that we have that entire plan consciously at the conscious level with my educated mind. I know I can be successful, but yet you look at your results and it's not good. So what is happening? And the more knowledge you have, the less results you have in proportion. And that causes a lot of frustration. Well, let's look with our graphic again. And this is the importance of that graphic. Why that graphic is so important is because your knowledge, it's through your educated mind at the conscious level. You have tons of knowledge there, but your results are not coming from your knowledge. As I just mentioned earlier, your results are coming from your programming. So the way that you've been conditioned and programmed is what create those results. So you might have gone, and most of you, like I did, like one thing that I was doing is every time I was finished with a program or with a course, I was already started looking at the next course I'm going to take. Why is that? Why am I thinking about taking another course when my thinking should be, how can I apply what I already know? Because the conditioning that I receive is like, I need to know more if I want to get different results. But the truth, and that is part of the habits, right? I'm gathering more knowledge. I'm gathering more information. I'm gathering more knowledge. I'm taking another course. This is the habit. But if I want to have a different results, I need to change the paradigm. I need to create a new paradigm. So then I can create new results. And the new paradigm should be, I need to start applying all the knowledge that I already have. And if you do this, your results going to change drastically. The truth is, you don't need to learn way more knowledge. What you need to do is you need to apply what you already know. And all of you here, all of you already know what to do to be successful. And this is what we're going to do in the next 5 days. I'm so pumped about this. I'm very excited. And I know that all of you will do that and will get involved into this, okay? Because you don't change by fighting the existing reality. If you try to fight the existing reality, you're gonna lose. What you need to do is you need to build a new model to make the existing reality obsolete. And that new model is gonna be done through a change of paradigm. If you change your paradigm, you're creating a new model. So the old is obsolete. Does that make sense? Your current reality is obsolete. That is what we're going to do. So I want you to join me now, okay? So I want you to take your phone. So take your phone right now and put the camera on. Take this QR code. It's going to open a Facebook page. And then you're going to join The Richest Entrepreneur, which is my Facebook group, where in the next 5 days, I'm going to do a challenge. And that challenge is I'm going to help you to generate an extra $5,000. $5,000 in the next 5 days. Now you're thinking, oh my God, Mike, how can we do that? Like, this is impossible. This is not possible. Who's thinking is not possible? Well, this is part of your perception. This is your current belief. This is your logical mind, which is telling you it's not possible. But if you're thinking about it, if you think about all the knowledge you have in your mind right here, right now, do you believe you have the knowledge to know how to generate $5,000? If you believe that, just write yes right now into the chat. Do you have consciously, at the conscious level, the knowledge to create $5,000, to manifest $5,000? Think about it. Like, there's so many things. There's so many things you can do with your phone. There's so many ways that you can earn money. You could be selling something in your house. You could be selling a product. You could be selling something for someone. You could create something. There's a way that you already know mentally, logically, consciously, with your educated mind, all the knowledge that you gathered over the years, you know that you have the knowledge to generate $5,000 in the next 5 days. So this is the challenge that we're going to do in the next 5 days. I'm going to do a video every single day. I'm going to help you and run you through how that you're going to do that. And I'm going to give you very precise instruction on what you must do every single day. And what I want you to do is I want you to invite people to join this challenge, because the more people that you are in and with, the more that you're going to have this powerful energy. Remember what I said in the beginning, right? Everything is energy. So if you are into this great spirit of generating $5,000, and I want you to start thinking, how are you going to feel when you have that $5,000 in your hand? What's going to happen? What are you going to do with the money? And this is the challenge that I have for you for the next 5 days. Do you have any question? Is there any way I can help you to make that challenge, like, first of all, a reality? That's the first thing that I want to do. I want you to really understand that there's so much power behind this, number one. Number two, I want you, and I see like there's some people that they don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they can do it. This is part of that paradigm I was talking about. This is exactly what we need to be changing. But I want you to get into that challenge, right? So I want you to join the Facebook group. You will have some instructions starting tomorrow where that we will tell you exactly what to do, how that you're going to generate those $5,000, what you need to be doing every single day. And I want you to invite people to join the Facebook group as well and to do that challenge with you. I'm so happy that you took your time to join this webinar tonight. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful night, and I'll see you tomorrow with the start of the 5-day challenge. Bye-bye.